The art of war was not for soldiers, but for anyone who wants to win. Every battle you face today was already fought many years ago, and Sun Tzu won them all. You're struggling with the same wars he mastered, the war against distraction, against weak competitors, against your own hesitation. The difference? He had a strategy. You're just showing up and hoping things work out. Most people treat life like a fair fight. They think hard work alone will win. They think being nice means being weak. They believe that waiting for the right moment is wise. It's not, it's surrender. Sun Tzu wrote that the art of war was not for soldiers, but for anyone who wants to win. And if you're not winning right now in your career, your relationships, your goals, it's because you're violating the principles that have shaped empires, businesses, and legends. The choice is yours. Keep fighting blind, or learn the principles that separate amateurs from masters. Here's what's happening. You're working hard but getting nowhere. You're putting in the hours, but someone else is getting the promotion. You're grinding, but your competitors are 3 steps ahead, and you can't figure out why. It's because you're fighting without a strategy. You react instead of anticipate. You compete on their terms instead of setting your own. You burn energy on battles that don't matter while the war slips away. You think effort equals results. Sun Tzu would call that delusion. Most people live like this. They confuse motion with progress. They confuse noise with impact. They're so busy doing that they never stop to ask if they're doing the right thing. And that's exactly how you lose. Here's what the best understand. Victory is decided before the battle begins. Sun Tzu didn't win because he had more soldiers. He won because he had more knowledge, more patience, more discipline. He studied the terrain. He understood his enemy. He prepared so thoroughly that when the battle came, it was already over. That's how Jeff Bezos operates. He doesn't compete, he positions. He doesn't react, he anticipates. Amazon didn't just sell books faster. They created a system where competing became pointless. Strategy isn't about doing more, it's about doing what matters. When you apply these principles, everything changes. You stop wasting time on pointless fights. You start seeing opportunities others miss. You move with precision instead of panic. You become the person who wins before anyone realizes the game has started. Imagine walking into a negotiation knowing exactly where your opponent will break. Imagine launching a project with such clarity that obstacles dissolve. Imagine living with such strategic awareness that you're always 3 moves ahead. That's not luck. That's warfare. Napoleon studied Sun Tzu. Every great strategist from ancient China to modern Silicon Valley has learned these lessons. The hidden advantage? Most people never will. They'll keep grinding without direction. They'll keep fighting battles they shouldn't be in. And you'll pass them because you know something they don't. The war isn't won with strength. It's won with strategy. Let me give you the framework. First, know yourself and know your enemy. Sun Tzu said, if you know your enemy and know yourself, you need not fear the result of 100 battles. This isn't about studying your competition's website. It's about understanding their weaknesses, their patterns, their blind spots. And it's about brutal honesty with yourself, your strengths, your limits, your gaps. Start here. Write down your 3 biggest strengths and 3 biggest weaknesses. Now do the same for your biggest competitor or obstacle. That's your battlefield map. Second, choose your battles and control the terrain. All warfare is based on deception. Appear weak when you are strong. Attack where they are unprepared. This is about positioning. Don't fight fair. Don't fight on their terms. Create conditions where you can't lose. When Netflix entered the market, Blockbuster had every advantage: brand, locations, capital. But Netflix changed the terrain. They didn't try to build better stores. They eliminated stores entirely. Ask yourself, what battle are you fighting that you shouldn't be in? What game could you change instead of trying to win the old one? Third is timing, discipline, and execution. Opportunities multiply as they are seized. The general who wins makes many calculations before the battle. The general who loses makes but few. This is about patience and precision. Most people move too fast or too slow. They strike when they're excited, not when they're ready. They hesitate when the moment demands action. Sun Tzu teaches you to wait, prepare, and when the opening appears, move with absolute commitment. Think about how Serena Williams plays. She doesn't just hit hard. She probes, adjusts, waits for the unforced error, then attacks with everything. She controls the tempo. That's warfare. Here's how you apply this starting today. Step 1. Map your battlefield. Every Sunday, write down your 3 main objectives for the week. For each one, identify who or what opposes you. What resources do they have? What do you have? Where's the opening? This isn't paranoid, it's strategic. Your enemy could be distraction, procrastination, a competitor, or just your own doubt. Step 2. Play to your strengths. Exploit their weaknesses. Don't try to beat people at their game. Find where they're vulnerable and where you're strong. If they're big and slow, be fast and nimble. If they're loud and reckless, be patient and precise. Richard Branson didn't beat British Airways by being a better airline. He beat them by being a better brand. Step 3. Control the narrative. Sun Tzu said all warfare is based on deception. You don't have to lie, but you do have to control perception. Shape how people see the situation. When Apple launches a product, it doesn't respond to critics. They set the frame. They decide what matters. That's controlling the terrain. Step 4. Strike decisively or don't strike at all. Hesitation kills momentum. When the opening comes, move with conviction. But if the conditions aren't right, wait. Don't attack because you're impatient. Step 5. Adapt or die. The greatest strategy is useless if you can't adjust. Stay flexible. Read the situation. Pivot when necessary. Sun Tzu wins because he doesn't stick to a plan when the terrain changes. Neither should you. Understand this. Applying these principles isn't about becoming ruthless. It's about becoming effective. You're not at war with people. You're at war with mediocrity, with wasted potential, with drift, and that war demands strategy. Excuses are for people who'd rather lose comfortably than win uncomfortably. I don't have time to plan. I'm not strategic. I just work hard and hope. That's not humility, that's surrender. Sun Tzu didn't write for people who want participation trophies. He wrote for people who want to win. And winning requires that you think differently, prepare better, and execute with precision. This isn't a one-time thing. It's an identity shift. You're not someone who reacts anymore. You're someone who strategizes. You're not hoping things work out. You're making them work out. Discipline isn't about doing more. It's about doing what matters. Here's your mission. For the next 7 days, apply just 3 principles. Know yourself and your enemy. Don't fight fair. Change the terrain to favor your strengths. Strike decisively when the moment is right, or wait until it is. That's it. 3 principles. 7 days. You'll start seeing patterns. You'll stop wasting energy. You'll move with confidence instead of confusion. And by the end of the week, you'll feel what it's like to win, not because you worked harder, but because you fought smarter. Sun Tzu mastered warfare many years ago so you could master your life today. Every principle he taught applies to your career, your goals, your relationships, and your discipline. The battles change. The strategy doesn't, so here's the question. Are you going to keep showing up unprepared, hoping effort is enough? Or are you going to study the game, position yourself, and win before the fight even starts? The art of war isn't ancient history. It's your playbook. Now, subscribe and go use it.